All right, how's everybody doing? We're listening to a little Prince today because 4 years ago in April, Prince passed away and we lost a great, great treasure. So let me turn this down just a little bit. So that's why I've got on my Prince t-shirt and I'm playing a little Prince music to intro for Facebook. I don't own the rights to this music, but I just wanted to play a little music to start with because we're going to talk, in a way, we're going to talk about some strange relationships. But if you don't know who I am, I'm JL, the anti-guru, and I'm coming to you, talking to you about some things that will hopefully change your life. So let's go ahead on and get right to it. Let me turn this music off. All right. But like I said, I want to talk to you about how not to lose your stuff during these difficult times and in the future. There's a lot of people. I think the statistic is that there are, I think it's 13 or 16 million people who have filed for unemployment during this difficult time. A lot of people are out of work, and surprisingly, there are still people who are working because certain sections of our society have to continue. But one of the points I want to talk about when we talk about essential workers, I've been working for myself for several years, and a lot of times people who work a 9 to 5, and I'm not picking on you, but they talk about job security. And as long as I go to work, I got a job. Well, we see that even that's not the case. And I'm not trying to beat anybody down or make anybody feel bad, but what I want you to consider and I want you to realize is that there's no such thing as job security unless you make yourself essential, unless you make yourself irreplaceable, you know. And so, people who work a job, a lot of times you don't have an incentive to skill up. And unless you think that there's going to be some more money involved. But I'm here to tell you that, like in this crazy time we're going through, you were proficient at your job, but for one reason or another, you're not there in order to make the money, to earn the money that you can make because you're not essential. And I know that's a tough pill to swallow. And for my entrepreneur friends, you know, I see a lot of you are pulling back and shrinking back. I was guilty of it myself. I understand, when you don't know where your income is coming in or it's been cut back, you want to be a little more conservative. However, I was watching on Amazon Prime Video this series. It was called Men Who Shaped America. And it was a series on some of these really rich people in America, like the Rockefellers, J.P. Morgan, Carnegie, all of these guys who were multi-billionaires. And some of these guys started with nothing, but they even flourished during the Great Depression when other people were starving and didn't have jobs and things were so bad for folks. These guys still were able to maintain a certain amount of wealth, and they had a certain amount of cushion. Yeah, they had some money, but you also got to remember they had huge expenditures keeping their businesses going because that was their source of income. But what I noticed when I watched this series, that some of the things that they did during those downtimes were when they actually scaled up, when they actually took greater risks because there was a greater return, because other companies, other businesses were falling by the wayside, and they were able to fill the gaps where some of these businesses have fallen off. Because I saw something the other day about Neiman Marcus. Neiman Marcus is getting ready to file for bankruptcy. They have furloughed 14,000 employees. So, but one of the reasons why Neiman Marcus, which brings me to my next point, is going under is because they didn't have the cash reserve. But the other part of that picture was that they depended on brand recognition and people coming into their stores to keep their cash flow. They did not transition from that shopping experience into the shopping experience that we see now with online shopping, with Amazon. You got Black Friday and then Cyber Monday. Now Cyber Monday outdoes Black Friday more than any other time. I think last year it was even bigger than the year before that, and it's going to continue. So my point in that is that if you are an offline business, if you have a brick and mortar business and you haven't stepped up, here's a perfect opportunity and a perfect time for you to step up with your online presence. Learn more about how to advertise and market online and how to automate some parts of your business and put it online so that it doesn't depend on actual people coming into your store or coming into your office or whatever service or product that you're providing in order to do business with you. So, but getting back to how do you scale up? How do you scale up? One of the things for those people out here who are not at work, here is a perfect time. And you're not going to hear me say start an online business, even though it is a perfect time to do that. But what I would suggest, even before you do something like that, is to acquire new skills. One of the ways to do that is to read more books. And you don't have to, and you need to read a diverse collection of books, and some people say, well, I don't like to read. But one of the things that reading does, that what you may not understand or may not even realize, is that it sparks your imagination. It causes your brain to grow because you have to create those images in your mind that you're reading. When you're watching television or a movie or any kind of video, you are seeing the person who made that video production, movie, whatever TV show, you're seeing their concept and their ideas. And that's why, when we talk about TV, I put a post out a while back about there's a reason why TV is the monster. There's a reason why they call it programming. And what they've done is they have programmed people to think and react and do a certain way because it's evident in, and when I was coming up, the thing that the story that we were fed is that you go to school, you graduate, you go to college, you get your degree, you get your job, then you get you get married, wife, kids, and live happily ever after. And what we've seen here in the last at least 15, 20 years is that college graduates are still struggling to get that first job. My sister just 2 years ago, she got her bachelor's degree in sociology, and she wants to work and do social work, but she still has not been able to find a job in her field. Now she's working, but she's not working in her field that she studied so long and hard to obtain that degree. But I'm not beating up people who go to college. The other thing that I would want you to consider, and also consider talking to your children, is not saying that college is not a good choice, but there are other choices where they can earn a very good living without having to get a college degree. There are all kinds of trades. One of the things that we are all going to need, just like say if we did have a zombie apocalypse and society fell apart, having those basic skills like carpentry, plumbing, knowing how to deal with electricity. If you're learning how to grow things, be a farmer. Some of these skills, heating and cooling. These are skills that are high paying because when your sink gets stopped up or you got your pipes have burst and you need a plumber to come in there and fix that, you're going to pay whatever it takes to get that fixed, and they make very good living. So that's something else to consider. But I'm not telling you if you work in an office to go and start trying to be a plumber or anything like that. That's not what I'm talking about. But again, for you folks who are not working, we all heard about side hustles. Fill some gaps. Like I was telling you the story about the Carnegies and the Rockefellers and all of those people. Because there was one thing, bring me back to that story. I can't remember whether it was Rockefeller or Carnegie, but one of them was the oil guy, and he was selling kerosene at the time because everybody was lighting their homes with kerosene lamps. And then, hey, Tanya, how you doing? What's going on, Brother Miguel? I didn't mean to ignore y'all. I got to make sure I look at the comments. I got a bad habit of just looking at you. But getting back to my story, uh, so when Alexander Graham Bell, when Thomas Edison and Nikola Tesla started perfecting the electric light, uh, he realized that his kerosene was not going to be in high demand anymore. But because he was in the oil business, he looked for another niche to fill in order to keep his empire going. So that's my point. And what he did was that's when they learned how to refine gasoline, which worked really well with the emerging automobile industry. So he had abundance of new customers that he was going to be able to cash in on. So those are the things. What you need to be considering now is what kind of niches, what kind of services, what kind of products can you yourself make in order to fill a gap somewhere right now where there are businesses that are closed. I mean, a good example is restaurants. If you can maybe cook some food and make some to-go plates and sell a little food to keep some money in your pocket. There are lots of ways. And if you're thinking about online things, what I always suggest is affiliate marketing. It's one of the easiest and quickest ways to build an online business if you're thinking about that. If you don't know what affiliate marketing is, that's where you take someone else's product. Yeah, bro, I'm trying. When you take someone else's product and you promote it and you get paid a commissions, and that's a beautiful thing. That's the short and quick thing about it. Now it's that easy, but it's not that easy. There, you have to get educated, which brings me back to scaling up. You have to perfect your skills. There is a way to advertise and there's a way to market online. So again, if you own a brick and mortar business, now's the time to start learning how to do those things. I myself am working on a course to teach you how to do some of those things. It's in development right now. I'm not going to talk about it too much, but my point is that you have to be educated and you have to skill up, because when you make yourself so valuable that your employer or your company can't do without you, now you're essential. So you have to have multiple skills. Okay, brother, we'll talk. Just hit me up on Messenger, and we'll talk when I get off here. I'm not going to be on here too much longer. I've been on here about 20 minutes running my mouth. I'm gonna well, maybe not 20 minutes, about 13 minutes now. But and I lost my train of thought. But oh yeah, getting back to scaling up. Another good example is if you are bilingual. Somebody who's bilingual can probably find other jobs, other niches, other ways to earn money because they know more than one language. They learn two languages. So this could be a good time for you to try to learn a new language and take that skill back into the workforce, or you take that into your own business, and it'll give you the ability to serve even more people, because speaking to people in their native language is a very great way to build trust and respect, and you can create loyal customers that way. I'm just looking at my notes here, saying I can learn another language. Yeah, that's the other thing. Um, you need to change your mindset. And when I say change your mindset, for those people who are working, now is a great time to delve into entrepreneurship. I'm not telling you to do it full time. It would be a great time to do it part time. You have the free time. You're home with your kids. They're driving you crazy. Take some time to develop yourself, become more diverse. And when we get back to reading, one of the things I would advise you to do is to try to read at least one book a week. You can see my library over here. I've read all of these books at least once, some of them twice. Um, and also make sure you read history books. Make sure you read biographies. Don't just read books about personal development. And, the more that you diversify your knowledge and your wisdom, because you never know where these things come into play. When you're talking with someone, say you're at a conference and they're talking about a piece of history, and if you've read some of that, you can join in on that conversation. You don't know what that connection could do for you. So don't discount. And I'm not telling you to go back to school and become a student, but I am. Because here's the truth, guys. The people who survive in this world, who grow, especially entrepreneurs, are people who become learning machines. When you can learn information and assimilate it quicker than other people, then you instantly can push yourself above the crowd. I don't care what kind of knowledge it is. So consider those things. Um, again, the other ways, if you want to get to start an online business, of course, everybody knows about network marketing. Another great business is e-commerce, where you create your own online store. But again, none of these things will guarantee you success unless you become more than who you are right now. Because there's going to be another virus to come through. There's going to be some other kind of epidemic or pandemic or situation where businesses may decide they're going to cut back, they're going to lay off because they got to trim the fat so that they can stay alive. And they don't care as much about you as they care about themselves. I'm not saying that they don't care about you at all, because there are companies out there that do care about their employees and help them out. However, when you go from earning a full-time salary to a part-time salary or no salary, and you got bills to pay, it gets crazy real quick. And that's why I've seen people who have lost their minds. I know my own father told me years ago when he worked in corporate America, and one time he lost his position and he tried a couple of things and failed, and he considered suicide. So it can affect anybody. Don't think, oh, that wouldn't happen to me. Well, yeah, it can happen to you. But like I said, I've been on here about almost 17 minutes. I try to stay under 20 minutes. Like I said, I'm going to try to keep my schedule. I may change my lives to another day. I've been considering going to Tuesdays rather than Thursdays, maybe a little bit earlier in the week. I may even go back to Mondays when I used to do Mondays. But I probably won't do that. I probably won't switch that until after the next week. But I will be on here next Thursday. Not sure what we're going to talk about. Probably going to be some type of skill. We had talked about copywriting, which is one of the number one skills. If you're a marketer or you're a business person, anybody that's in business, you have to learn how to write good copy, because you have sales letters, you have video sales letters, you write emails, you write posters, anything where you're writing something down for people to read. You need to learn how to do that properly. It's the science of neurolinguistics, which means you can write things that can motivate people to take the action that you want them to take. There is a science behind it, but there's more to it than just that. So we're going to go back over copywriting, and I want to encourage you, if you have not, where is that book? Yeah, there it is. Yeah. If you have not picked up a copy of Copywriting Secrets, and you want to pick up a copy, you can instant message me or direct message me, and I'll send you a link where you can pick this book up for free. All you got to do is pay shipping. I think the shipping is $9. And if you get the book, then you can kind of follow along. And as we go through it, there are 31 secrets in here, and I'm probably going to try to cover as many as I can. So again, if you want to pick that up, just message me and I'll send you a link where you can pick that up. Again, I appreciate everybody who's been on here with me. If this has been of any value, or you know anyone else who can use or would appreciate this information, please share it with them. I appreciate everybody who was on here with me live. If you are watching this on the replay, push hashtag replay, and the weekend's coming up. We're not going to be able to go anywhere, so use this time wisely, guys. Remember, there is only 86,400 seconds in a day. And what you do today is going to cement who you are tomorrow. Nobody cares what you did last week. And definitely in this day and time, nobody's caring about anybody but themselves. So increase your skills, grow yourself, read more. Make sure that you become more than who you are. And then you'll earn more than you can ever believe. And you'll be able to get the good life, living life on your own terms. That's what we all really want. We want that freedom to enjoy life the way we want to, and not have to make an apologies or explanations. Just get up in the morning and do whatever we want. Well, if you want that, you have to be deserving of it. And how do you become deserving of it? By getting in there and becoming more, scaling up your business, taking a few risks. If you play it safe, you may get some success, but you'll never fully realize your full potential. You'll never realize the best that your life can be. And that's the truth. So again, I appreciate all of you. This weekend is coming up. Make sure you do something nice. Also, can't do any random acts of kindness. But if nothing else, pick up the phone and call somebody, text somebody, say, hey, we're doing a welfare check. How you doing? Do you need anything? Can we help you in any way? And we'll see you next week on Thursday. Later.